Hey everybody, welcome back to microbeerreviews.com. This beer that we're going to review tonight is Old Chub Scottish Ale from Oscar Blues Brewing Company out of North Carolina and Colorado. This is one of those beers that I thought for sure I'd done a beer review on years ago when it first came out, but can't find it. This comes in a multi 12 pack as well as 6 packs. Roughly like around $11, $10, $11 for the price point. Always comes in cans. It'll say on here, pack in, pack out. This one, for example, I think is a really cool can. All their cans are kind of labeled the same, but I like this can a lot. A huge fan of Govna. 1050, I think, is one of the best beers on the planet. They call this a jaw-dropping Scottish strong ale, 8% ABVs. It is a head-turning treat for malt heads and folks who think they don't that don't dig dark beers. Here again, I think that's something that Oscar Blues does a really, really good job of doing, meaning that, Scottish ales are, to me, it's a very, very malty beer, but they're typically kind of sweet, but not as sweet as a porter. And so to me, they kind of get lost. But I think, by kind of describing it that way, people are more apt to being open to it. So, it says on here, it's like Sputnik. This one, I think, pours exactly the way a Scottish ale could be. And here again, one of the reasons I like this brewery so much is how consistent they are with what they do. It's got almost no head on it at all. It's dark. It's very, very dark. You can see a little bit of kind of burgundy hue to it. A little bit of carbonation, but you can see it's almost zero head. It's not flat though, and that's one of the things about this particular beer that I think is unique in the fact that you look at it and you're like, there's no carbonation. Well, Scottish ales don't have a ton of carbonation. They're not like summer ales, for example. But it's got just enough, and you can constantly see bubbles coming up after you pour it. It smells, in my opinion, exactly the way a Scottish ale should smell. It's malty, it's sweet, it's kind of got a little caramely and chocolate flavor to it, or aroma to it rather, but it's not like, none of it's overpowering. Everything is very subtle. And I think, Scottish ales truly are designed to be that way. So, yet again, they do everything very well. So let's check it out. Cheers. It's easy to drink. It's very smooth. It's got a nice kind of thin to medium body to it, but it's also one of those beers that I think in this category, I think people do it wrong a lot. And what I mean by that is they try to get too thick or too sweet, or just so malty that it's a malt beer. You can kind of taste a little bit of a hop background. It's got a nice little mixture of sweetnesses to it. It's tasty. I like this beer personally as kind of like a dessert beer or something that I would have after a meal. It's not thick. I mean, it's not a thick beer at all. I mean, it laces the glass a teeny bit, but it's not a dense beer. It's not bready at all. So, something you definitely have with a meal, but to me, it's got enough sweetness to it that it's something that I would definitely reserve for that. But I like it. I like getting this in a multi-pack. I don't buy it in 6-packs, but in a multi-pack, having it around, I think it's a very good representation of a Scottish ale, and I think it holds its place very well at specific times when you're looking for a beer that kind of has this character to it. So I'm a fan. It's hard for me not to ever be a fan of anything from this brewery. We rate our beer between 1 and 5. I would give this beer at least a 3.5, if not a 4. I think for a Scottish ale, though, it's a strong 4, and does a very, very good job at this classification of beer. So let me know if you tried it. Leave comments on our YouTube channel or our website. Thanks for watching microbeerreviews.com or Facebook or Twitter. We upload all the time, and we do appreciate you watching. We'll see you again real soon. Cheers.